The United States Armed Forces is well known for its leading munitions development. The most recognizable aircraft from American hands is the F-14 Tomcat or the iconic World War II bomber, the B-17 Flying Fortress. The most advanced U.S. military aircraft, the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II, boasts unmatched stealth features, the world's most powerful fighter engine, and advanced radar. Each of these beautifully crafted machines was not without developmental problems, of course. Regardless of said problems, aircraft such as these are what represent the pinnacle of aerial warfare in today's world. They're each a marvel of technology and engineering. But what about the ones that aren't? The V-22 Osprey has seen a tumultuous development process, one that has cost more lives than we'd like to admit. Much like the former, the Osprey evolved from the then current needs of ground forces and future needs going forward. The idea of the Osprey was born in the 1980s after the failure of Operation Eagle Claw, the Iran hostage rescue mission. By the orders of President Jimmy Carter, U.S. forces attempted to rescue 52 embassy staff held captive at the Embassy of the United States, Tehran, on April 24th in 1980. The casualties included 8 servicemen and many of the hostages. The Iran hostage crisis underscored the need for military roles that were not conventional for helicopters nor fixed-wing transport aircraft. The United States Department of Defense initiated a program to develop an innovative transport aircraft in response to this. The aircraft would be fitted with long-range, high-speed, and vertical takeoff capabilities. In 1981, the Joint Service Vertical Takeoff Landing Experimental Program began. A partnership between Bell Helicopter and Boeing was awarded the contract in 1983 for the V-22 tilt-rotor aircraft. The United States Marine Corps began crew training for the MV-22B Osprey in 2000 before fielding it in 2007. The Osprey supplemented and eventually replaced the Boeing Vertol CH-46 Sea Knights. The U.S. Air Force fielded their own version of the tilt-rotor, the CV-22B, in 2009, and in 2021, the U.S. Navy began using the CMV-22B for carrier onboard delivery duties. Since entering the service of the USMC and the U.S. Air Force, Osprey has been deployed in transportation and medevac operations over Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and Kuwait. The V-22 aircraft flown by the U.S. Marine Corps saw several tribulating events during the early testing phases and going forward. The first of 6 prototypes first flew in March of 1989. The V-22 is a tilt-rotor aircraft and utilizes a unique hybrid design. The aircraft combines features of a helicopter and a turboprop plane, allowing it to take off and land vertically. Once the aircraft is airborne, the V-22's 2 wingtip nacelles, both bearing an engine and 38-foot rotors, can pivot 90 degrees from an overhead position to a forward-facing position. This maneuver facilitates high-speed and fuel-efficient horizontal flight. Both the wing and rotor blades fold inward for compact storage. This in turn enables the aircraft to operate from ships or expeditionary airfields. On average, the aircraft has a cruising speed of approximately 276 miles per hour or 239.8 knots and an operational ceiling of 25,000 feet above ground. The first prototype was flown in helicopter mode, whereas the next was flown in fixed-wing mode. The third and fourth prototypes completed the first sea trials on the USS Wasp in December of 1990. The program was halted from October 1992 to April of 1993 after the fourth and fifth prototypes crashed during testing. The Osprey was taken back to the drawing room, where the V-22 was redesigned to reduce empty weight, simplify its construction, and reduce building costs. From then on, the aircraft was designated the V-22B. Flights resumed in June of 1993 after safety changes were made to the surviving prototypes. Every development comes with its own set of problems that designers must create well-thought solutions for. It goes without saying that the number one priority isn't technological advance, but instead the lives of our servicemen and women. In 2000, 2 fatal crashes sparked the nearly 30-year-long controversy surrounding Osprey aircraft. On April 8, 2000, a V-22 Osprey aircraft crashed during a night training exercise at Marana Regional Airport near Tucson, Arizona. By this time, the debate was heavy and did not weigh in favor of the Osprey. The Marana incident killed all 19 U.S. Marines on board. It was determined that the aircraft had entered an aerodynamic condition known as vortex ring state. This resulted from a high rate of descent compounded by pilot error. The V-22 was grounded and subject to further redesign as a result of the investigation's findings. The aircraft eventually entered operational service in 2007 and was deployed in Iraq with the U.S. Marine Corps. There have been more than 40 accidents involving Osprey since the aircraft entered into services, resulting in more than 30 deaths and millions in damages. More than half of the fatalities accredited to the Osprey have been within the last 2 years. In March 2022, during a NATO exercise, 4 American service members were aboard an Osprey on the way to a peninsula in the Norwegian Sea when the aircraft began to malfunction. The crew crashed into the town of Bodo. All 4 service members died. The crash is said to have been caused by pilot error. In June 2022, 5 Marines were killed during a different training mission in California near Glamis. The investigation following the incident found that it was caused by an aircraft clutch problem. August 2023, 3 U.S. Marines were killed following the crash of the V-22 Osprey in Melville Island, Australia. The crash has remained under investigation and has yet to come forward with information. The most recent tragedy to occur under the operations of the Osprey aircraft happened in November of 2023 during a routine training mission. The U.S. military grounded the entire fleet, along with Japan, the only other country to operate Ospreys, after another V-22 crashed off the coast of Japan and killed 8 crew members. Tokyo grounded its small fleet of tilt-rotor aircraft the following day after the fatal incident which reignited the controversy over the aircraft deployment. Both Japanese and American critics claim that the Osprey is prone to accidents and is a metal tomb for those who travel within its confines. The underlying cause of the Japanese crash remains unknown for now. The investigation is ongoing, but a preliminary has indicated that the crash may have been caused by a material failure. Strong opinions have been thrown from one office or another. Controversy surrounding the Osprey and its cursed history troubles the public and service members alike. Not only is the Osprey costly to upkeep, but it's also insanely hard to navigate. Takeoff is unlike any other aircraft. The Osprey takes off in sort of hybrid configuration. Some of the lift comes from the propellers and some comes from the fixed. This can be changed at any moment, however, based on airspeed, pressure, altitude, and the angle at which the nacelles are tilted. Over enough time, pilots can earn enough experience through training operations in order to execute basic maneuvers, but predictability is all based on the flying environment and strict adherence to the procedures. Despite the cornerstone Osprey has become to the arrival of troops and supplies, it can't auto-rotate in an emergency, nor fly well in vertical flight mode. And to top it off with the cherry, the Ospreys are distinguished gas guzzlers. One problem that has continued to dog the U.S. military since 2010 is a gearbox malfunction known as hard clutch engagement that has the potential to cause power surges in one or both rotors, thus destabilizing the aircraft. 2 emergency landings were made by the U.S. Air Force in 2022 because of the problem. Casualties are a harsh reality and unfortunate fact of life in military aviation, especially when flying low, fast, and oftentimes in the dark. However, the controversy has sponsored a lot of civilian and personnel debate. Pilots on the one hand have stated they wouldn't fly something that they thought to be unsafe, but on the other hand, civilians have asked the big question: if the U.S. is so technologically advanced, why does the aircraft continue to crash after decades of redesign? For now, the Osprey has been grounded for the foreseeable future. While it's likely they will be returned to service soon, talks have emerged of a new and possibly better aircraft that will replace the Osprey fleet in the future. What are your thoughts on the Osprey? Leave a comment below and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time.